Alrighty, so today we are going to be analyzing Carson's 4x4 solve. So he has one solve here, a very nice point of view solve here. Let's start looking at his solve. So he starts off, there's obviously right here a very nice L-shaped pattern here for white. So I also have it on my Scramble here. So he does a F2. Okay, so what he does is he pairs up the two whites to pair them here and make it a bar, and then inserts it right in, rotates, sees nothing much. Okay, and then pairs up the two yellows, this yellow pair, and then with this one. So he does a U, L, and then U prime. So he does U, L, U prime, just like that to pair and make this bar. Okay, and then he inserts it into the top, rotates, and then does the yellow and just insert that bar. So first two centers, I mean, I think apart from the yellow and not doing like the most efficient solution, it was really good. Otherwise, we have the whites, so he does something like this, and then he's left with a case just like this. So what I would recommend for him to do is, he already has this, you can just pair these two up, like be a little bit more conscious of finding other more efficient solutions. So you can move this together here, and then maybe do an F prime, U2, F, and then you already have these two in your view on the left that you should look ahead to, that you can already put in. Alright, so yeah, his first two centers, they could have been a little bit more efficient, but he rotates, he's doing Yao. I believe he's doing white, because I think he does it on the left. Okay, so he does the orange here, pretty efficient solution. So he just sees the orange here and does this, pairs it up, and then puts it in the bottom, which is really nice because it allows him to look ahead further. And then he has a green up there. Okay, so I think he sees, he has a free red one there, so he does that, fumbles a little bit. He puts it in the wrong position. Okay, so I would recommend him being a little bit more conscious about doing these things. So if you have it here, what I would just recommend is just go like this, L prime, D prime, and make sure to know your color scheme. I feel like you have a little bit of trouble recognizing the color scheme, so maybe just work on that a little bit. And so I can see you're rotating a little bit, trying to find out where the next pieces are. So honestly, what I would do is just look ahead while you're putting the pieces in, and maybe just do some slow solves, trying to be a little bit more efficient. Each of these edges should be paired up pretty quickly. I'd probably say less than 5 moves, but what he does is, I believe he sees the blue here. Yeah, he rotates back down, so he rotates up and rotates back down, which is not the best solution there. And then puts it in with an L3, I believe. Let's watch that again. Yeah, L3. So that is not the best. Maybe just a little bit more, being a little bit more efficient on your first 3 edges, because I feel like that's what slows you down. He does half centers, I believe. So that's what he's trying to implement into his solves. So he's manipulating all the pieces, I believe. Wow, that was really efficient how he did his centers. Let's go back and analyze that one more time. Okay, so he rotates up here. He has all of these bars here, and then what he does, yeah, he's pairing up this blue here to get that half center, and now he has all of them, and he does the one at the bottom, I believe so. Yes, there we go. So he put them all in a way that the layer can be solved in, the way that the centers can be solved. So also he has this finished pair already. So now he looks for his last cross piece. Still finishing up a little bit with the color orientation, but there we go. So his piece is right here actually. Okay, so he fumbles a little bit there, does that. Just make sure, fully aware of your cross pieces, and you're doing them in the most efficient solution and not doing any unnecessary moves. So he takes it out, pretty good, and then puts it in. A little bit fumbling a little bit with the D moves, and then puts it in. Okay, so now it's really good. He has this pair here, and he's right about at 23 seconds. So I think honestly what he could do is you could try to get your solves down to about under 20 seconds on these, because like, I mean, up to this stage, finishing your first 3 cross edges and all that. Now he looks around for his edges. So what I would recommend doing is, once you finish all of your cross pieces, okay, so once you finish all of your edges like this, I have it right now, your cross edges, you want to do a U or a U prime to already just get it started, and then start looking ahead. So for example, in here I have this orange and green, and this orange and green here. So this is actually a really difficult case. You can do a flipping algorithm and then move this blue here, just take a random pair out, move this back, and then you can just start again on your edges like here, and then you have your first 4 edges here, and you can just continue on with the rest of your solve. But he looks around quite a bit for his edges. I feel like his edges are definitely not his strength. His strengths are definitely his centers. So he looks around and he pairs this up right here very, very nicely. And I think he influences this pair here, the orange and green. So he knows the orange and green is back over here somewhere. And then I think he's looking here also. So what he notices, he does a flipping algorithm from the left. What I recommend, I know Carson is a righty, I think right-hand dominant solver. So you should just do the flipping algorithm, rotate, and then do the righty flipping alg, because I feel like it looked a little bit uncomfortable for him. And yeah, it saves you the extra rotation. And you could also look ahead to your other pieces as well. So he inserts that real quickly, really nice. And then it just leaves him with a slice, flip, slice right here. I believe so. Oh no, okay, so yeah, right here, I think he should recognize this. I recognize this at least for now. So he sees this right here. This is the these two have to just be flipped. So if he does F R prime F prime R, and then he does a flipping algorithm, so it's just this case right here, like this with these. He inserted it the wrong way and thought you could pair it up because he didn't know he was done with his edges. I would just say be a little bit more conscious about your edges and how you're pairing them up, and you can just go straight into the algorithm. But instead, what he does is he inserts it the wrong way, which is definitely not good. And he looks around. Yeah, definitely these recognitions and pauses, I feel like slow solving will definitely help him being a little bit more efficient. And he does another flipping algorithm. Now he does the correct thing, looks in the back for his F2L pairs. And I won't go into depth in 3x3 stage. Carson is faster than me at 3x3. He is pretty insane with his solving. Let's just see if he gets parity at all, and we'll see if that will hinder his solves. So pretty good with F2L here. Sees everything pretty nicely, and looks like he does not have parity here. Pretty lucky on this solve, but I believe he does get PLL parity. So a very nice T-shaped case here, and PLL parity, yes. So it's actually really good that he does PLL parity right here, because that influences it, and he's already at 40 seconds. So basically what PLL parity does is it just swaps this edge right here, this whole block and this whole block, and I believe it'll leave him with the G perm. But maybe just learning some of those cases, yeah, it leaves him with a G perm. But that's honestly what I would do in a solve myself. And then he goes on to doing his G perm, and I would recommend doing the G perm, the rotationless G perm, but it's fine on here. You lock up a little bit and then finish it at 44. Let's see that right there. His timer stopped. Pretty good. 44. So overall, Carson, your solve was very, very good. But I would just recommend on working on being more efficient with your edges at least. But your centers are absolutely great. I'm glad that you implemented the half centers technique. I personally don't use half centers, but I think it's just a good technique to experiment on, and definitely something you can use in your 2OL just in case a good case does appear. But now I'm just going to be going over some things that you can improve on, and yeah, and maybe some example solves as well. Alrighty, so Carson, your solves are absolutely great. So I think if you want to become sub 40, there are just a couple things I would like you to help implement. So your first two centers are pretty good. You did something like this, and then you went into your edges. Your cross edges were a little bit iffy. So if we just do a random example here, so for example, if we have some cases like this, if you have blue, what you could do is you could move the blue into the back and then pair it up just like that. So I would also recommend getting better at your color scheme, because you did fumble quite a bit in that solve, and you also did put the red piece in the wrong slot. I remember in this case it's hard to see much, but what I see is the green pieces here. You insert it like this, or pair them up, put them in, and then here you can just be consciously looking ahead for the pieces. I like how you use the half centers technique. That is definitely your strength. And then also for your last cross edge, what I would just recommend is maybe just leaving it unsliced like this. And for example, this cross piece, instead of inserting this in, pairing it up, taking it out and putting it in, what you could do is once it's left unsliced, you could just put this piece in here, then it's already left to do that, and then you can insert it into the bottom. Okay, and part of the thing that I want you to work on is your edges, at least, because it's definitely really helpful, and you can get really fast at it, especially with getting better at look ahead. Starting off, you would want to slice. If you're doing 3-2-3, I think you do it on counterclockwise, so I'll do it in that direction. So if we see this piece right here, this yellow and green, we have this yellow and green piece here. Insert it here. Insert this orange and yellow piece in here. And then keep looking ahead, consciously looking ahead, because I can already see this piece here. This piece here is the red and green. So you can just put it in here, just like this. Also, what I would recommend, I don't know if this is necessary, but I see this pair here. Like, if there's really easy cases, I don't know if you do this already, but I would just put it in the back, honestly. And so I see this case, so definitely influence some pieces. So these two can be paired up. Inserting this blue and yellow will pair this up here in the back. And doing things like that, and make sure to insert your last two edges in the correct form, just like this. And then do your alg. And your 3x3 stage is pretty good. Nothing much to say about it, but if you do get PLL parity like this, there are some like certain cases that you can learn, maybe learning some of those easy recognizing OLL cases that can help you and get skips. And then for PLL parity, at least, it's really good that you just do PLL parity first to get it out of the way, instead of having to get this case here. This is a really bad case. You have to do a sexy move, do it, and then insert it back. So that's not good. I like how you do the PLL parity first. But otherwise, that was all I had for you, Carson. Thank you so much for submitting your solve. Thank you so much. And if you would like to get your solves critiqued, then be sure to check the link in the description down below. But otherwise, that was all for this video, guys. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.